Hello, children. You are welcome to the digital classes of Christ Church Convent Higher Secondary School, Gatawara. I am Amit Toshniwal, your economics teacher. This video is for class 12th. Subject is economics. Chapter number 6, forms of market and price determination. Part 2. Today's topic is extent of market. Extent means expansion. The very first requirement for the expansion of any market is market demand, public demand. If there is no demand in the market, then certain commodity will not be needed by consumers. And even if it is available in the market, there is efficient supply but will not be sold, and it cannot create a market for it itself. So there are different commodities. As you study different types of market on the basis of area, sale, time, legality, and competition. Each type of them has got certain criteria to develop its market. Any commodity. So, what are the factors which affect the extent of a market? There are two conditions. The first one, qualities or nature of commodity, and second is internal conditions of a country. So first, qualities or nature of commodity. First is extent of demand. As I told you just now, if there is no demand for any commodity, will not be required, will not be needed, will not be wanted by consumers. So what if there is adequate supply in the market? So for the extension or expansion of the market, the commodity must be in demand. So the commodities which are in demand, they get a huge market, and commodities which are not in demand, they have market but narrow market. Second, sufficient supply. If demand is created or already exist in the market, but the producers and manufacturers are not able to make a sufficient supply of commodity, so gradually consumers will shift to any other commodity which is easily available. So commodities which are having sufficient supply by the producers, they play a major role for the expansion of market. Third point is portability. Portability means transportation must be easy from one place to another without much difficulty and incurring high cost. So, goods like gold, silver, precious stones, cloth, they are generally not bulky and have great value in small quantities also. And therefore, they are able to have a wider market as they can be easily transported. But goods like sand, bricks, iron, they are bulky and transportation cost is much. They have narrow market. Fourth is durability. The goods which are durable or lasting long without losing their value, they have wider market in comparison to perishable goods like milk, fish, vegetable, etc. Delicate and fragile goods like glassware, bangles, they have very limited and narrow market. Fourth, next point is suitability. It means suitability of a commodity for being correctly described by sampling, etc. If things can be easily sampled or graded, they have wider market. Next point is substitutes. The goods which have no substitute, they have wide market. Those which have substitute, simple. I mean to say, consumer does not have any other option to choose. He'll have to go for the same thing because there is no close substitute available in the market for the commodity. Next is facility of grading and sampling. If gradation is possible, such goods are sold easily and their publicity becomes convenient. When publicity becomes convenient, so what happens? People also feel much confidence and convenience in buying them, and such goods create a wide market. Next, supplementary goods. Supplementary means complementary. If there is a commodity or such a good means which is dependent, its a selling or market is dependent on the other. So if the other commodities market increases, then simultaneously the market for that commodity will rise. Next point may be price stability. Commodities having price stability command wide market, and commodities having much fluctuation in price do not command a wide market. Simple. People do not trust easily on such commodities for which prices rates are fluctuating and keep on changing frequently. And one more thing we can add to this: fashion and popularity. So modern age is the age of fashion. So the commodity which comes into fashion will create its market widely, or anything becomes popular and comes in general use, then definitely it will create wider market than any other commodity. Now, second topic is uh, what internal conditions of country determines the extent of market. The first is peace and security. So it is very essential for a wide market actually. If there is peace and security in country, then people deal without fear. And if there is a fear of disturbance due to off and on riots or war, industrial as well as commercial development, then people will afraid in dealing things. And such commodities cannot create a wide market at all. Next is means of transportation and communication. So, means of transport and communication facilities are well developed. So, it makes easy to carry goods over long distances. And this only helps in the extension of market and bringing down the prices. So all the means of transportations like railways, roadways, airways, waterways, and means of communication like telephones, speed post, fax, courier services, etc., or online shopping. So they all play a great role in widening the market actually. Then your next point is banking facilities. If government is able to provide banking facilities in rural areas too, so it's a common in general that banking facilities are available in urban areas, in metro cities, in big cities. But if government provides banking facilities even in rural areas, then receiving payment and making payments becomes easy. And people are able to purchase things. So if this condition prevails in good state in the country, then market extends, it gets an expansion. Advertisement. This is the age of advertisement actually. So propaganda and advertisement is required, and it goes a long way in widening the scope of market of various commodities actually. It's a tool. Through advertisement, a producer may reach to the consumers sitting in the last corner of the country. And moreover, it makes a customer aware of the specialties of the products, which helps increasing the demand. And thus the market is expanded by a modern means of advertisement. It is possible to extend demand by advertisement. Government policies. If government is favorable to trade and industries, then extent of market too increases. If export orientation schemes, low indirect taxes, They all will help for the expansion, the scope of market. I mean to say, if government supports in every possible manner for industry, trade and others, means for commerce, then market widened. Foreign cooperation. So it helps the foreign trade, import and export of goods, and the international market widens. And suppose this is a closed economy, not an open economy, and closed one, then what will happen? Import and export will be restricted by foreign countries, so it discourages the expansion of international market. Next is fair dealing. Fair dealing refers to honesty of businessman, and this helps in expansion by developing faith among customers. Unfair trade practices and dishonesty discourage the expansion of market. Through honesty, standard and quality goods can be produced and sold at large scale, and goodwill can be earned. Last point is specialization and division of labor. So the quantum of specialization and division of labor also helps for the expansion of market. And if it is done at the greater degree, more production at lower cost is possible, and expansion can be done. Your next topic is forms of market structure. Two types, especially perfect and imperfect. Perfect competition does not have any its branches, whereas imperfect competition has got three branches: monopoly, monopolistic, and oligopoly. What are they? We'll deal in detail. But in this module, you shall study about perfect competition. Actually, perfect competition is a myth. So this is an imaginary state which is found nowhere in the world. It's not possible to create a perfect competition market anyway. किसी तरीके से संभव नहीं है ये. Why? Because the features or characteristics it possesses, it's not possible to prevail in market. No way. Not possible. So you see the definition on your screen. Perfect competition refers to a situation of market where there are a large number of buyers and sellers of commodity. Okay, it is possible. Second, all units of the commodity are homogeneous. It may be also possible. And all the firms have full freedom of entry into and exit from the industry. Third is also possible. Fourth, under perfect competition, each firm is a price taker. It means each firm is willing to sell its output at a price determined by the industry. Not possible. And next is, both buyers and sellers have perfect knowledge of the market. Quite impossible. Will it be possible that each one of buyers and sellers will have perfect knowledge of the market conditions? No, not at all. And demand for commodity is perfectly elastic. Yes, true. One price prevails in such market, not possible. Every seller cannot take one price because they want to maximize their profit, and for that they want to deal with higher prices by exploiting the consumers. They have only standardized goods. No, not possible. Just to increase their margin of profit, they will keep inferior goods, low quality goods with them. चूना लगाने में माहिर होते हैं ये लोग. And each buyer knows the price change by the each seller. No, not possible, because consumer is not that aware, ignorant. He does not know about the COPRA. COPRA means Consumer Protection Act. So totally unaware. So such all these conditions are not prevailing in an economy, and hence it's a myth. So such type of markets are not found in real world. And on the basis of its meaning, you can draw its characteristics, features. First is large number of buyers and sellers. Okay. Perfect knowledge, दोनों को रहेगा. Uniform commodity means of the same type, of the same nature, homogeneous type. Free competition, yes, it is. Free competition means each firm, any of the firm may enter into the market or can leave, and so as for the purchaser and buyers. दोनों के लिए है ये. जिसको रहना रहे, नहीं रहना चला जाए. फूफा बन के बैठ जाते हैं, मुंह फुला लिया, चले गए, ठीक है, इट्स ओके. So they means they don't affect, they don't have any influence over the market. Neither seller nor buyer, none of them. कीड़े मकोड़े होते हैं ये. इनका मार्केट पे कोई भी अधिकार नहीं होता. If some buyers are moving away from the market, it will not make any effect on the market, because there is free entry too, so new buyers will be added. And this is the same for sellers too. Sellers के लिए भी यही रहेगा, है ना? So these are general conditions. And perfect mobility of factors of production. So there are 5 factors of production: land, capital, labor, organization and enterprise. So they are free to move anywhere in any part of the country to start with their business. So when it is for the producer and manufacturer, this is same for buyer. कहीं से भी खरीद सकता है हिंदुस्तान में वो माल, उसको जहाँ से लेना होगा. Can shop online and take it from any corner of the country, not restricted, no prohibition at all. And uniform price, quite impossible. सारे लोग एक सी प्राइस लेंगे, लूटने के लिए बैठे हैं कंज्यूमर को, तो क्या होगा? पता नहीं रहता जब अनअवेयर होता है, इग्नोरेंट होता है कंज्यूमर. Inferior quality goods are sold at the higher prices because of ignorance. Okay, so today's video is ending now. In next video we shall discuss about the price determination in perfect competition market under short period and long period. Okay, so you go through this video once again and keep reading. Thank you.